Hi, this is Sarah with Grace Company, and today our technician Jason is going to review Zone Manager Basics.
Hi everyone, my name is Jason and I work in tech support for Grace Company. Today I will be going over the basics of Zone Manager with you. To start off, you will not be able to get to this menu until you have gone into Pantograph, created a pantograph, and then hit Sew in Zones. From here, you can click on Zone Manager found towards the bottom right corner, and if you click this, it'll say Opening Zone Manager allows you to select which zone to place. However, it will reset the current placement as well as any pattern eclipsing or last row clipping. Do you still wish to open Zone Manager? You want to say yes to this. Once you're in Zone Manager, you can see that it will highlight whichever row you're on with this green border. And then from here, you can click on different rows, or you can click the arrows here to change which zone you're going to be working on. And that's what this first section is, the zone selection. Over here, you have zone sizing. With zone sizing, you have your zone scale. This will show your zone width and your zone height. And then this is your zone size max, and this is based off of your safe area compared to what your zone scale is. So in this case, I have my width at 100, so it's the full 80 that I set here for my safe area, and then my height is 95, so the zone size max currently is 14.95, and I set my safe area as 15. So if I go in and change this, then that's going to change what that zone size max is. Then on the right side here, we have our zone preferences. You have two preferences here. You have your 4-point, which is setting all 4 corners, and you can choose to set 1 corner if you'd like, or set 2 corners. You don't have to select all 4, but you at least have to set the 1. And then on center point, you're just setting your top center placement. Next would be your zone start position. By default, it's set up to zone start position, which is sew from left, and then you can change that to alternate. Sew from left will make it so that each zone will start on the left, while alternate will make it so that the first zone will start on the left and then the second zone will start on the right, and then switch back and forth with alternate zones. Start from left is what most people will use. You would want to use alternate if your zones are only 1 row at a time, and you'd want to save a little bit of time by having your second zone start right to left, so you're not having to move your machine all the way over to the left to start the next row. And then the last zone preferences is the sewing direction. There are 3 choices here. You can either choose uniform, back and forth, or continuous. Uniform is good when you want all your rows to start from left to right. Some customers will prefer this as they see a better stitch quality when the machine stitches from left to right versus when sewing right to left. Sewing back and forth is good when they want their rows to alternate stitch starting points, but do not want to make the lines going from one row to the other. This is the preferred method when you are quilting in your quilt and not going into the batting, and you won't be having a seam. So basically you're preventing the sewing machine from stitching down your sides. So it's still alternating directions, but it won't be stitching down the sides of the frame. The last option is continuous. This is a good option to choose if you want your rows to alternate the starting position and you don't mind the machine sewing down the sides of your quilt. This would be if you are going to cut off the sides when you're done, or if you are doing a seam and your seam is going to cover these lines. This is the simplest way to sew your rows. And then this concludes the basics of Zone Manager. If you experience any issues or have any questions, please contact Grace Company. Thank you.